Canada, the 51st state? Before I dive into that, let me give you an indication of how I feel things are in Canada right now. We seem a bit tripped up, don't we? I mean, we don't even have a functioning government as I make this video. In the meantime, how are things going with our friends south of the border?
USA from this capacity crowd
was enough! And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother!
As I've tried to comically show you, I think the vibe in the US is a lot different than the vibe here in Canada. And here we're going to discuss the pros and cons if Canada actually became the 51st state. It is my opinion that I think we're in a position of weakness right now, and that's why some of the things are happening. Don't get me wrong, I know what you're thinking about Donald Trump, or at least many of you anyways.
Donald J. Trump is now President of the United States. President Mr. Trump, for the moment, steps.
And yeah, right now, unbelievable, he's got many Canadians thinking this. Aside from that, let's dive into the video and the subject at hand. Canada becoming the 51st state. Let's begin with the pros. 1. Economic opportunities. It's a larger market, the US, so Canadian businesses and workers would have unfettered access to the US economy, which is the largest economy in the world. There would be reduced trade barriers. All trade barriers between the US and Canada would be eliminated, which definitely could enhance business opportunities.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
I would love it if my money was worth more. I mean, Canadian money to American money. Could you imagine going to all this more powerful green money? How about military and defense? You know, here's how I picture the American army. It's a lean, mean fighting machine, as the saying goes. They are up to date, up to snuff, and patriotic to the end. In contrast to that, here's how I picture our Canadian army.
Boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, boom!
Or do we just say we have an army and have people dancing around like this?
Slippery Weevil one more time. I want to familiarize myself with it as much as I possibly can. So, give it to me, Ben. Every word, every detail, dot every comma.
All this to say is that Canada would have access to the US military's vast resources, potentially improving national security. Also, in addition to that, shared defense costs. The cost of national defense could be distributed across a larger population and budget. The third pro, infrastructure and investment. There would be increased federal funding. U.S. federal investments in infrastructure, healthcare, education, and technology could lead to improved services and facilities in Canada. How about improved transportation? Integration with the U.S. could lead to more comprehensive and efficient transportation networks across North America. And number 4, cultural exchange. Canada would have greater access to American media, entertainment, and even sports leagues without restrictions, while Canadians could influence American culture more directly. So of course, now we go to the cons. For sure, this is the big one: loss of sovereignty and identity. Our political independence. I mean, Canada will lose its status as an independent nation, including its control over foreign policy, military decisions, and global representation. Not that that's been any good lately.
You serious?
Our cultural identity. Canada's distinct identity, including its bilingual nature, multiculturalism, and healthcare system. could be diluted or lost in a U.S.-dominated union. Number 2 con, healthcare changes. This is a big one for us. Loss of universal healthcare. Canada's publicly funded healthcare system could be replaced by a U.S. system, which is definitely more expensive and less accessible for lower income citizens. There's higher medical costs with that. Canadians might face higher healthcare costs if they had to rely on, say, privatized insurance models. Number 3, political differences. Many Canadians hold more progressive views on issues such as gun control, healthcare, and social programs. Being part of the U.S. could subject Canadians to policies that they may not agree with. There's also a big difference with the electoral system. Canada's parliamentary system might be replaced with the U.S. presidential system, which could limit your political voice of Canadians. Number 4 would be on immigration and border control. There would definitely be changes in the immigration policy that we currently have. Canada is more open to immigration policies. They could be replaced by stricter U.S. policies, which could affect the country's multicultural fabric. Then again, there's been a lot of complaints of our immigration policy lately, haven't they?
Oh, school, guys. I'm an American. I just lost my passport. Oh!
In short, Canada becoming part of the United States could offer economic and military advancements. Huge. But at the expense of Canada's political independence, social policies, and cultural identity. I try to separate the two things, functionality and then the emotional side of it. Functionally, man, does it ever sound good? I'll have American money. I'll be earning American money. I think things will generally be cheaper. I'll pay less taxes. All that sounds amazing. Now, some may say, hey, but you're going to have to buy healthcare. Yeah, I get that. But, with all the other things that are going to be cheaper, travel, flights, hey, cell phones, they're going to be way cheaper too because there's going to be way more competition. With the money I'll save there, I'll just buy private healthcare. Or at least that's the way I'm thinking. Maybe I'm nuts. I still can't help but feel that Canada is still a little different than America. As much as I love Americans, we're just our own people. For example, coffee. Now, what screams Canada more than a cup of Tim Hortons coffee? No disrespect meant to Dunkin' Donuts, but Timmy's is gold to Canadians. Hockey. And I don't think I could ever give up moments like this.
For the Ginla. The Ginla. Crosby! Sidney Crosby! The golden goal! And Canada has once in a lifetime Olympic gold!
And beer. I feel that beer is another sense of pride in Canada. To potentially lose Canadian beer for our American brew? Well, that would make me just... So while it does make sense from a functionality standpoint, emotionally, I don't think I'm ready for it. I would love to hear what you think. Do you think there's any benefit to us becoming the 51st state? Or do you think that this is just complete... Let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.